What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tamyia, and welcome and thank you to all of my new subscribers. To my old subscribers, thank you for being loyal and true. If you're new here because you came across this video, welcome to my channel. I usually post every Thursday. I post try on hauls. Hopefully over the next 2 months I can get you at least 2 videos a week, so I'm really excited about that, starting with this one. So in one of my recent try on hauls, I addressed the fact that basically I've had a breast reduction before, and the reason why I brought it up is because there's certain tops and dresses and things like that that I may try on, and I'll mention the support and the security of that garment, and it does have great support and security, but also one of the reasons why I get extra support and security is because I have had breast reduction before. So I told my subscribers that I would do an updated video about that, about my surgery, about my journey, because I have 2 on my channel, but those are very old and the quality is probably really bad. So I wanted to basically go over my experience and all of that jazz. So first I want to start by saying I have had 2 breast reductions, and I will tell you why as I tell you my experience. And hopefully this video won't be too long. I should have wrote down some notes or put some notes in my phone, but I just wasn't thinking, so I'm just going off the top of my head with this one, and let's get into it. So I remember probably around 4th grade, I think. That's when the earliest I remember, like I can actually remember in my mind, you know, wearing a bra was probably in 4th grade. And I don't remember having like any issues or like feeling different or other girls wearing bras. I was just living my life. And so it was probably, I think in 6th grade was the first time a classmate, a female classmate, approached me about my breasts being large and thinking that I stuffed my bra. And she wanted me to do a cartwheel basically to prove that I did not stuff my bra. Mind you, it never crossed my mind like that my breasts were larger or anything like that. So I want to say that was in probably 5th or 6th grade. So then in 7th grade, that's when I started seeing more girls who look like me. You know, 7th, 8th grade, middle school, other girls' bodies are forming as well. Some bodies are more curvier. Other girls have large breasts as well. And so it was like fine. Nobody mentioned it. Nobody was talking about it. It was everyday, you know, life. Oh, your boobs are big. My boobs are big too. And so life just kind of went on from 7th grade to like high school. Like I knew I had larger breasts, but because I have classmates with larger breasts, it's not like a concern. Now, in today's day and age, today's times, over the past several years, I feel like we've seen a lot more younger girls who are definitely developing sooner, and a lot of people say that's to the steroids and things that they put in the food that we consume, and that's probably true. You know, a lot of people aren't cooking at home. They're going out to eat, fast food restaurants, etc. Okay, so hold on. For some reason, I'm so sorry. All right, so I've been really thirsty, but so I do remember sometime in high school, especially on game days, wearing 2 bras. So I cheered from 4th grade to 12th grade for football and basketball season. And I do remember at some point in high school, sometimes I wore 2 bras until like I found the bra that really fit me and was really secure for like all the jumping and things that you do as a cheerleader. And I specifically remember all my bras came from Belk, and they were by the brand Bali or Bali, B-A-L-I, and they did not have underwire. I specifically remember that. All of them were Bali, they came from Belk, they did not have underwire. And then I had some sports bras. So during my freshman year of college, well, my mom works in the hospital, and there was a surgeon in the hospital that I guess some of her coworkers or people that she knew, he did a breast reduction on them. And so during my freshman year of college, unannounced to me, my mom was getting some information for me about, you know, having a breast reduction. And so the summer after my freshman year of college, 2005, so I was a freshman year, 2004, 2005 in college. That's when I had my first breast reduction. So I went for my consultation and I got my breast reduction. Now, with regards to like pain and things like that, I didn't really experience back pain. I didn't experience neck pain or shoulder pain. And I like to say it's because we grew up together. I don't know why I didn't experience those aches and pains that a lot of women experience, but I didn't. And it could have been, you know, like I say we grew up together. Could have been the type of bra I was wearing that did offer support, because, you know, bras from a department store that offer you good support are not going to be cheap, right? So I had my consultation, had my surgery the summer of 2005, and I don't remember being nervous or scared or anything like that. I think I was more so excited. Now, during this time, I was still like, I didn't have like my other curves yet. So I was still like toothpick size, but with these large breasts, okay? And I was wearing a size bra, probably triple D. Now, if I was wearing the correct size. And the reason why I say that is because most women do not wear the correct size bra. So I I should have been in probably a larger size bra than what I was, but I do remember being up to like a triple D right before I had my surgery. So I had my surgery, and now I need to fast forward, and then I'm going to rewind. So, but I will say, well, no, let me fast forward and then we'll rewind. So in 2012, I have my second surgery. So that's the fast forward. I need to rewind to 2009 real quick. So in 2009, I got my first real job out of college, okay? And a lot of people, a lot of my coworkers had breast reductions because the insurance at that job covered breast reductions. They didn't see it as cosmetic surgery, which I know is an issue that a lot of women run into, is that they'll try to get their breast reduction paid for by their insurance, but their insurance will consider it cosmetic surgery. But for whatever reason, the insurance at this job did not consider it cosmetic surgery. However, by the time I started working there, things had started to change with the insurance, and their insurance was no longer covering breast reductions. And so I found out about the doctor from people at that job who performed my second surgery in 2012. So fast forward to 2012, I go for a consultation, and now I know you're wondering, why did you have two? What happened with the first one? What was wrong? Well, to make a long story short, I just wasn't satisfied, and I still felt like my breast was large. So if we rewind back to the first surgery, 2009, once all the swelling and everything was settled, I believe I was wearing like a D. I want to say I ended up wearing a D. So I went to a triple D to a D. And then, I don't know, 2012, like I said, I just wasn't satisfied. I don't know, like I wasn't happy. So I went to this second surgeon, the second plastic surgeon, and I had a consultation, and I told her exactly what I wanted, and she delivered. Now, I need to compare the two from 2009 to 2012. So 2009, my doctor was a male doctor. 2012, not 2009, 2005, my doctor was a male doctor. 2012, it was a female doctor. 2005, they weren't using, well, I'm not going to say they weren't using, but my specific surgery was not using like the drainage tubes like you see a lot of girls using now, especially with the BBLs. Okay, honey. So they weren't using those back in 2005. At least my doctor didn't. And in 2012, this new doctor did. I also remember having a lot of follow-up surgeries with my doctor from 2012 that I didn't have with my doctor from 2005. Like, I had a lot of follow-up surgeries. And I just also remember that my doctor in 2012 really took her time with like the reconstruction of my breast, because as you know, most of us have that one side of our body that's like a little bit larger. We have one foot that's a little bit larger, one hand, one arm, and women, we know we always have that one breast that's like a little bit larger than the other one. So she really made sure she took her time with like evening them out. Now, with both doctors, along with the reduction, I also had a lift, which is one of the reasons why I can go braless as I am right now. Like, no support, no strapless bra, no regular bra, no bandeau. Like, a lot of times I can't go braless in certain tops in the winter, in certain sweatshirts and things like that because of the lift. And from 2012, they still sit pretty nicely, if I should say so. Also, what was I going to say? Oh, when it comes to soreness and tenderness and pain and things like that, I honestly did not experience a lot of pain. Of course, I was sore, but I didn't experience a lot of pain at all. And I'm also not a big complainer or whiner or, oh my gosh, it hurts so much. Like, that's just not me. So when it came to like being taken care of after the fact, you know, my mom did a great job at like helping me and assisting me where I need help and assistance at. But I guess, you know, like that independence of my own is in there too. You know, it's really nothing to not, for me, to not feel like I couldn't move around and do things of that nature. For both, I did have to wear my surgical bra and things like that. You know, you can't take a shower for a couple days or even a week after you have your surgery. You know, common surgery rules and guidelines of that nature. So I didn't have a lot of pain. I was sore. I was swollen. And with the drainage tubes, and like I said, I don't know if they were doing drainage tubes in 2005, but I really felt like having those in 2012, it made a huge difference in how my breast kind of like settled and how the how it helped with them being swollen and releasing the extra fluid and blood and things of that nature. It definitely helps. So if your doctor doesn't do drainage tubes, or if you don't know, I would definitely ask if you are considering doing a breast reduction or getting a breast reduction, because I feel like it helps a lot. Also, do not be scared to voice your concerns, your opinions, what you want, what you need, how you want to look, because it is your body and you are paying for it. Speaking of cost, my first one I believe was $5,000 and some odd number, and my second one I think was 7,000, maybe closer to 8,000 and some odd number, in between 7 and 8,000. And I end up having to pay for both of those myself. I could not get them covered through my insurance at the time. So if cost is a concern and you can't get it covered through your insurance, I recommend saving. There's also different payment plans that your doctor may allow for you to do. And if your insurance will cover it, I would recommend documentation 1,000%. So what I would start doing if I were you, I would go to your primary care doctor, you know, build that report of back problems, shoulder problems, neck problems, you know, start building that report. There's a group I'm in on Facebook, and I know one of the girls had mentioned how she had to lose, I think, 25 pounds before she could have her surgery. Now, I don't know if those were doctor's orders or insurance orders, but definitely find out all the information you can, because the consultation is free. Consultations are free, so you can go get you a consultation. They'll contact your insurance. They'll tell you approximately how much everything will cost, and you can find out what you need to do on your end to better prepare financially for your surgery. I'm trying to think what else. When it comes to any side effects or, you know, things I may experience years later or down the road, when it came to my feeling coming back in my breast after my first surgery, I do remember experiencing a lot of like those sharp pains of when the feelings try to come back through your nerves. I don't remember experiencing that during my second one. And when I say sharp pains, it's nothing like unbearable that you're gonna like freak out. Like, you get used to it, you know what it is. You're not gonna be like, oh my god, what was that, unless you're just like a dramatic person. You know, it becomes normal. You know, it's your feeling coming back in your breast. But like I said, I remember experiencing that more during my first one than my second one. When it comes to, you know, feeling and sensation, for a while I didn't have feeling around the areola nipple area of my right breast, especially during my first one. But during my second one and over time, that feeling and that sensation has come back. Also, when it comes to possibly breastfeeding one day, my doctor, especially my first doctor, I remember him telling me, you know, after a breast reduction, it's like a 50-50 chance that you may not be able to breastfeed. However, I feel like that's kind of life in general. I don't have kids yet, but from what I do know and what I have learned, and, you know, having female friends, it's kind of a 50-50 chance in general in life, surgery or no surgery, you may or may not be able to breastfeed. And that's just because of certain glands that they cut, you know, when they're cutting through your breast tissue and that fat to give you your breast reduction. I don't know. I think I covered everything. When it comes to shopping, shopping is amazing now. I definitely used to have to try a lot more things on, like to make sure it's gonna fit good in my breast, and if it's there, if it's there, than I do now, where I can just kind of like go to the store and buy it. I think sometimes, you know, you just self-consciously try things on because you don't want to have to return it. But I definitely, you know, shopping, even after my first one, I definitely enjoy shopping a lot more than I did before my surgeries. But yeah, so I have a piece of paper and a marker. So I'm guessing this is how they still do this now. I didn't watch any like updated or 2022 videos before I sat down to record mine, because this is my experience. This is what happened to me. Okay, so this is my blank piece of paper, and we're just gonna pretend, you're gonna use your imagination. So when I had my surgery, and first before I do this, scarring and keloids. So when you have darker skin, you make keloid easier than people who have lighter complexion skin. Like when it comes to my scarring and keloids, the doctor did mention making sure that I put vitamin E oil on my scars, because that helps with the scars like not being as dark or not being as hard, and softening and things like that. I will say that after my first one, my scars were a lot more prominent than after my second one. So I will say that make sure you follow doctor's orders and everything you need to do. And I think with both surgeries, they did the stitches that like dissolve into your skin, so that's a plus as well. Okay, this is our breast, all right? So with both of my surgeries, it's kind of like an anchor. So under the breast, they drew, can y'all see? You draw this up under your breast, and of course, you know, it won't be this small, well, because your breasts are large. So you draw this up under your breast, or you cut it, I should say. And then after you cut up under the breast. They go up in the middle towards the areola. So they go up in the middle like that, just like an anchor. And then they also have to go up and cut around your areola, okay? Because a lot of times you're going to have to resize that. I know that mine had to be resized because my areolas before fit my large breast and they had to be resized to fit my smaller breast. So they're going up. I mean, they're going under. That's not up. They're going under. Then they go up. And then they're also going to cut around your areola because they need to resize it. And then they're going to get all that fat and stuff out, okay? So then they're going to resize your areola, stitch that back down, stitch the middle of the anchor, and then stitch up under here. And then your drainage tubes, or at least my drainage tubes, were on like the outside. So if this was my left breast, my drainage tube was connected to this side. So I didn't have a drainage tube over here and over here. I just had a drainage tube over here. And vice versa. On my right breast, I just had a drainage tube going down on this side. And then for I think about a week, right, so my battery got too hot, so I know where I stopped at, but I don't know where my camera stopped recording at. So I'm just gonna hurry up and finish before my camera cuts off again. So I think for about a week or 2 weeks, I had to measure how much drainage I had and write it like on this piece of paper, and then I went to follow-up appointments and I had to present that paper to my doctor. And again, that was with my second surgery. So yeah, all I'm saying is this is kind of what it looked like at the time when I had my done. Had your anchor under your breast, your line going up, cutting around the areola. They size the areola to fix your new breast and stitch you back up. And then that's my drainage tube. Well, really, I guess that's my drainage tube right there. So that's my tube going down, and that's the little round part at the bottom, and that's my fluid somewhere down in there, okay? So basically my advice would be to go for consultation, get the information you need to know, ask all your questions. Don't be scared or afraid to express yourself and tell your doctor what you want. So hopefully you don't end up having two. You only have one. Again, I was like 19 during my first one, so I probably wasn't as, you know, aggressive in expressing myself as I was in 2012, like almost 10 years later, from 2005 to 2012. So make sure you tell your doctor what you want so that you're satisfied, because like I said, it's your body, it's your money. And again, if your insurance will cover it, making sure you get that documentation that you need to start building that rapport so that your insurance will cover your surgery. And I think that's it. If you have any questions or want to know anything, leave the comments down below. Last thing I'm going to say, there is a YouTuber that I watch, Mahogany Curls, also known as Jessica. That's her actual name, Jessica. And she has had a breast reduction before, and I did message her several years ago and asked her, like, after her kids, you know, and her breasts getting larger, did they stay large? Did she have any issues? And she told me that her breasts just kind of went back down to what they were pregnancy. So I know everybody is different and your experience is your experience, but I will say that since I've had my breast reduction, and of course I have gained weight and lost weight over time, but none of that weight has actually gone to my breast. It's gone everywhere else but my breast. So my breasts have remained the same size in me gaining and losing weight. So hopefully I will be okay when I do have kids one day. The bra that I wear now is a C something, but I believe because of my lift, that's the reason why I can get away, like I said, with the things when it comes to clothes, okay? But definitely make sure you're going to get that lift, because that lift will changed your life forever, sis. Okay, and make sure you're just aware of the things you need to know, and do not be scared to express yourself. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to start trying to get out 2 videos a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this is my first Tuesday upload. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. It's been so long it's been so long ago since I've had my surgeries, so I hope I didn't like miss anything and I covered all the things. I would just say research is key and expressing yourself is key. And yeah, hope you are having a beautiful day. Subscribe and turn on that post notification if you like fashion, if you like clothes. I do try on hauls every week, and I want to start including a little bit more of my designer and luxury back into my channel again as well. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye. Peace out.